Recently, I've been thinking about how insane I must have sounded when I referred to Counter-Strike as a comfort game. This competitive tactical FPS filled to the brim with gamers ready to blow their top and screech in the ear of their teammates at the mildest inconvenience. Which got me thinking, does everyone feel like this? Are all my comfort games like Counter-Strike? What do others class as comfort games? Well, when I first started thinking about it, the likes of Animal Crossing, Minecraft or Stardew Valley came to mind. But then I googled it and happened across a multitude of different opinions on YouTube and Reddit with people saying XCOM, Civ 5, Rocket League and JRPGs. Which to me is crazy, as Civilization's franchise confuses me with a simple screenshot. And XCOM has taken my favourite soldier and shown me firsthand that getting attached in any shape or form is a mistake that I will pay for. Some people even echoed my thoughts with Counter-Strike, while others said games like League of Legends, Overwatch, Dota 2 and other extremely competitive games that they have been playing for the better part of a decade. But why would games that are stress-inducing such as CS, League, Overwatch and the rest of these games be comfort games, when they're plagued with such toxic environments? Or why am I not picking up a new game? Why am I ignoring my backlog to play something I have 3,000 hours in that is a coin toss on if it will be a good time or not? More and more questions kept piling up, with the only assumption I could make was to look at my own reasons. I enjoyed CS for a time. I enjoyed the winning aspect, or working as a team to execute lineups to take a site while outnumbering enemies, or flip the scenario, I enjoyed gunning down a team while they tried to push onto site regardless of odds. I enjoyed the competitive nature, or the goofy stupid strats late into the night and the friends I met doing so. And the key word there is enjoyed. Hundreds of hours climbing the ranked ladders, coordinating with teams to achieve victory, or playing strat roulette with drink punishments till our 5-stack had deranked a multitude of times. I cherish these memories, but the reality is, because of those experiences in CS, it's just an easy game to throw on and play now, which is likely why I said it was a comfort game, when realistically it's just familiar. Going back to the games I specified earlier, I realised were more cozy games than comfort games. Obviously they can overlap, but that doesn't make them interchangeable, as I've seen firsthand people get annoyed with all three of these examples, but the gameplay is displayed in a way that makes them seem like they're comfort games, paired with peaceful music and an art style that's colourful and inviting, which is why they likely stood out as comfort games when I first thought about it. Now, I likely don't see those games living in my comfort zone because I'm god awful at them, but it still gave me a lot to think about. So instead of mulling over the questions, I decided to ask people in my life what their comfort games are. And yeah, people had different ideas of what comfort meant to them, which is awesome really, because it showed me a variety of different games and points of view. I asked for 3 comfort games and a brief description of why for each to better understand their reasonings, and I've paraphrased and condensed what was replied, as this would be a mammoth of a video if I didn't. A little side note, my way of talking is going to be a bit more loose and playful while I'm going through everybody's responses. So, with that said, who's first? Dyslexic said Animal Crossing New Leaf because of its immersive world that became impossible not to lose yourself in, Dead by Daylight for its myriad of challenges and things to collect in its replayable 4v1 horror inspired game of cat and mouse, and Disney Dreamlight Valley because it's Animal Crossing meets The Sims, all dressed up in Disney that is an ever expanding fantastical modern journey. Sad Papi No Lasagna chose Assassin's Creed Odyssey because of an obsession to 100% the game, switching off his brain and exploring this immersive sandbox of a Spartan RPG. Wolfenstein The Old Blood, a short but sweet masterpiece of movement, combat, level design and enemies all polished to a quality that makes rerunning the game an endless joy. And Middle-earth Shadow of War, almost entirely based off the Nemesis system, that handcrafts the unique encounters you will face through who you slaughter and those who best you. Cardboard Fiend chose Terraria for its freedom and exploration of maps that are never the same with so many things to find and collect. Pokemon because there is no set way to play it, and every time you replay you can have a slightly or completely different experience. And Hollow Knight because ambiance, yeah, that was all I was given. Honestly though, it checks out and you will fully understand what is meant if you've played Hollow Knight. Mid-Max Wicken said Final Fantasy IX, as the art style is very romantic, bright and detailed, and the character development of all but one of the core cast is very heartwarming. Suikoden, a reasonably simple RPG that has incredible amounts of replayability with 100 characters to recruit and each character interacting with the world and the player differently. And Fable 2, her first Fable game and her favourite. Nostalgia hits hard anytime she plays this game and was her first Xbox 360 title. Taco Bell's comfort games were Play Up, a chaotic serve toward a restaurant sim that trains you through repetition and hopes you can keep up with the overwhelming demand for whatever food is on the menu. RimWorld, with its massive replayability as you manage a colony against the unpredictable events that unfold upon you along each and every unique experience, making survival that much sweeter when achieved. And their third pick is Factorio, which allows you to build industrial sized factories at your own pace that has options for challenges if you wish to add some additional difficulty. Something about just being able to watch things in motion that you built is very satisfying. The factory must grow. Too Much Sauce shows Super Mario 64, Final Fantasy VIII and RuneScape, but all for the same reasons. These reminders of simpler times are deeply embedded in the experience that brought nostalgia and reminded them of relationships with people that stood out in life. Also, the music banks. XX Bevy Solo Q XX free comfort games were CSGO and Apex, as they both just fall under the FPS title and you can just boot up, shut your brain off and tap heads to unwind. Minecraft, with its endless possibilities of what to get up to while going with the flow of however you wish to play on the day. And Sable, a beautiful atmospheric experience filled with so much within a world of ruin, slowly travelling across the land and taking in the peaceful environments. Come Sekiro's co-founder settled on Warframe, a powerful fantasy of eradicating rooms of enemies in the blink of an eye while being free of thought. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for its satisfying combat that comes with the trial and error formula FromSoft titles are known for, and Devil May Cry for its in general fun gameplay loop that leaves freedom to adapt and get creative as you slaughter any demon that stands in your way. Legal Arson also picked Warframe, a game that they dumped tons of hours into, but also for the fact that the name they chose for themselves back when they made their account brings them joy. Then there's Soma and the Outlast series that use their unsettling environment to make the player feel uneasy, while Soma also fleshes out a captivating story that makes you think about what makes us human. Their final pick was Blanc, a co-op game we played together that enforced the idea of a helping hand from different perspectives, making the journey easier in an artistic design of blacks and whites. Commander Cornerchair explained Timesplitter's Future Perfect was one of his choices because he knows the game inside and out, while also being attached to a lot of good memories from his formative years. Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex was also played a heap when he was younger, which makes revisiting the title another nostalgic trip to their childhood. And Graveyard Keeper is exactly what it says on the tin. The whole premise of the game is to just take care of a graveyard, and it's super chill. Two Slashes Plus One had a more open selection with two of his picks, being a gacha title and a story-driven RPG, while Against the Storm was specified. I feel this is something I kind of overlooked, but the idea that a comfort game could actually be a genre that you're so comfortable in that allows you to fall into place navigating through them. A gacha system of collecting characters and maxing out their levels to make them viable for endgame, and a story-driven RPG to just lose yourself within are both categories that have plenty of options. The specified game Against the Storm has you building a settlement and raising the influence before the Queen's impatience meter is filled. Eventually the map will be wiped out by a storm and beginning a new cycle for you to build a new settlement. The systems are a lot more in depth than this, but I do not know them. Day Parent Late Gamers' chosen titles were Spyro, a game that embodied the better years of their childhood. Left 4 Dead 2 and its ongoing slaughtering of hordes of zombies to blow off some steam from the comfort of their own home, and Super Mario Party, simply because it was the first game their eldest child got really invested in and asked them to play together. And finally me, Sappy Ballsack 47, or Zen, because I can't hold my opinion behind an alias. My comfort games are usually something from my childhood that helped me escape the realities of how my life was. I could explain where I was living, how I was feeling, and overall how much those games helped me to stay true to myself. Jet Set Radio Future had me smiling as if I had no emotional baggage. Fable encouraged me that the path I chose is mine to decide. And Halo Combat Evolved reminded me never to give up no matter how bad the odds are. This might sound like I'm being dramatic or theatrical, but as a child, these games had such a profound impact. And now as an adult and throughout my life, I've always felt such a welcomed peace when diving into those games. After reading everyone's answers and writing all this up, it just reminded me of different kinds of comfort gaming. Some people want to be at their Megatron battle station, others want to be cozy on the couch covered in blankets or in bed, and then it just clicked. None of this really matters. Comfort games are just what make you happy in some shape or form. The nostalgia you get revisiting a world that brought you so much joy, the freedom to play a game your way without limitations. Gameplay so immersive that you lose yourself within it with no regards for time, and the people you shared this hobby with. I love how across a multitude of different games, similar and familiar feelings were expressed by some people whose paths have never crossed. I had fun making this, giving people code names and learning what they valued in terms of comfort games and what mattered most to them, while sharing a little about myself too. But I hope you enjoyed this goofy dive into comfort games with me. Feel free to leave a comment, letting me know what comfort games you like and why. Subscribe if you wish to see more, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day and or evening, and I'll catch you next time.